YouTube, what up? Welcome back to Channeladriantv, and y'all know me as Adrian. But before getting today's video, y'all know what y'all need to do. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the videos. Also follow me on Rumble where I post, and if you see anything you want me to react to, sports, the dynamics between men and women, or an Ask Adrian question about your own personal life, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can hit me up on one of my social media platforms. They'll be pinned in the description. And men and women, welcome to another video. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for all the support. This channel is almost to 1 million views. And without I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of y'all supporting me. So I just want to say I thank you on that. And I appreciate y'all on that. Now on this video, I found this video very interesting just because it's something that I started to realize as I started to become older and speak with women. Men and women, when we're talking masculinity, we're actually viewing it from two different ways. When men say it, it deals with traits of a well-balanced and good man. When women are discussing masculinity, it tends to be on the sides of arousal or sexual arousal. So I'm going to play this clip of a video of a woman talking about her biggest gym pet peeves, and I'm going to tell you why it shows how men and women view masculinity differently.
What are your gym pet peeves?
Oof. I feel like I'm gonna get hate for this, but whenever guys shave their legs, like, I cannot. I feel like that's a pet peeve of mine. When I see a guy like walking around with naked legs, I can't deal with that. Yeah.
Why?
Because I like a hairy man, like, you know, like embrace your like masculinity. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the hair. I want to see it all. You know, like
you want to see that grunt.
Yeah, like that's too feminine. Like that's too girly. You're walking around with your like bare legs. No.
So there you have it. She said one of her biggest gym pet peeves are men with shaved legs because they're not embracing their masculinity and it's too feminine. So in other words, she views a man as less of a man because he has shaved legs, which a majority, that's something that women do. And here's the thing I learned about masculinity. See how she's talking about how she would be less attracted to that man or like a turnoff? She's describing masculinity from a sexual arousal part. When men normally describe masculinity, we think of a hard worker, determined, driven, says what he means and means what he says. That's why when I say I don't like men who lie to women, because a man that has to lie to a woman to keep her in his life or keep the relationship happy, that lets me know he's a weaker man because he can't truly be himself. And that also lets me know she doesn't respect him from a masculine level, because if he was honest, that would piss her off to where she'll either leave or cause disarray in the relationship. And the reason I'm talking to you guys about this is because I think all men and women need to understand these things. Like, remember how I said in a lot of my videos, if I had a son or daughter, I would literally sit down with them, play the clip, discuss these things with them so they understand, just like how I just explained the difference from how men view masculinity and how women view masculinity. That's how we're discussing this. I would do the same thing because it's very important, especially for you men, to understand that. This is why your image will always matter. Certain women are going to judge you from having shaved legs, or from how you wear your hair, or if you don't have any tattoos. All of these things matter. But the only thing is, what I've noticed is when women say this is masculinity, to me, no, it's not. They're talking more about sexual arousal under the word of masculinity. And then you have men, on the other hand, who, when they're talking about masculinity, it deals with qualities and traits of a well-rounded man. Now, that doesn't mean to the young lady in the video that she doesn't understand that, but for her to say that shaved legs are feminine and it doesn't make you masculine, that lets me know she's describing a trait that she would find that turns her off sexually. So she's using masculinity as a way to define arousal. And if you don't believe me, to the men watching this, ask your homegirls, don't ask your coworkers if you're not cool with them like that, but ask your homegirls, ask your mom, and listen to how women describe masculinity. They'll say tall, strong, some will say tattoos, and like how she said, the hair on the legs, the grunge. In other words, you see how those are more sexual arousal type traits? After you do that, ask men what they think masculinity is. Some will probably hard worker, driven, works out, can control his emotions. See, men will always view masculinity as traits of a good, well-rounded man. Women will always see masculinity as sexual arousal. Now, the crazy thing is, I don't think women even understand this. Now, to the young woman in the video, I appreciate her honest answer because it shows you what I'm saying in these videos are true. It's just that for whatever reason, I don't understand how people don't see this stuff when it's in their eyes and face all the time. This is why I tell men these type of videos are very important for your development. So when it comes to social posturing or being in a work environment or being out in public, you could pick up on these cues. Because I'll give you a quick story. A lot of people know I go to the gym and hoop. And I knew this one woman co-worker. She doesn't no longer work with me, but her boyfriend hoops as well. And he was in the gym that one day and she was watching, sitting in the bleachers. And let me just go ahead and say it, he's tad and taller than me. So you can see where this story is headed. So we played a game of 21. I won the game of 21. She got up during the game to go get a drink of water and came back. And after the game, because the game was done when she came back, she said, "Who won?" And they said I did, and she made a face. In other words, that lets me know right there that from a masculinity level, she didn't know I was good enough to win in basketball. Now you may be saying, Adrian, that's a reach. How are you tying that into masculinity? Because the next day she said, Adrian, I didn't know you hoop. I was like, yeah, I played hoop and sports my whole entire life. I was like, wow, you thought I was soft or something? And I kid you not, she said, yeah. She said, well, from your demeanor and your appearance, you don't seem like the rough type. And that's how I knew from the get-go. And this is why I said, men, you need to pick up on these things, because I didn't need that episode at the gym to understand that, because of how she viewed me. It's very easy once you understand how most women put you in certain categories off your appearance. In other words, tattoos, dressing, your hairstyle, and your race. This is how it's easier for you to understand where you're put in categories. And from that day on, she started to say, hey Adrian, how are you? In other words, from me winning that basketball game at 21 against her man who I'm pretty sure she thought was tougher and more masculine than me, that gave her more respect for me to start, hey Adrian, how are you? In other words, going out of her way to talk to me. But I'm not saying she was into me. What I am saying is that just shows you how women can judge a man masculinely just off their appearance, and how it could quickly change for the good or for the worse. And like I said, I'm always going to continue to do videos like this, because now more than ever, women are being open and honest, and they're proving everything I've said and a lot of other YouTubers have said. So men and women, take this as a lesson and learn from it. And I don't think there should be any hate towards the young woman in that video, because she was being honest. And then it shows what I've always said: men view masculinity different than women.